I have the conversation when I talk to my clients who are doing this, understand the only way to really know if your septic system is fully intact is to pump the system so that, oh, by the way, when you're buying the house, you don't want to buy somebody else's crap.
Welcome to Real Siblings, It Ain't Easy, a real estate podcast with the goal to educate, inform, and save their listeners time as they navigate the market and properties in their neighborhoods. Get ready to join real-life siblings and professional real estate advisors, Donna Reed and Eric Seemann, as they discuss how it may be simple, but it ain't always easy.
Every time I think about the places I have known, I realize that times have changed. So I'll do what I can to make this house into a home. Yeah, yeah. Oh.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric. She's Donna. We are the Real Siblings, and we want to welcome you to this unusual real estate and lifestyle podcast. In every episode, we blend real estate together with lifestyle as we work to communicate, educate, connect, and entertain our listeners. Topics always vary. The conversations go in a lot of different directions, but in the end, we endeavor to help our listeners with insights into our industry, better equipping them for the next real estate transaction. Once again, welcome if you're a first-time listener. Thanks for joining us. We hope to make you part of our growing community. And I'm right next door to you.
I'm Donna, and in case you're watching this, we have just spent 30 minutes trying to be perfectly positioned in the same place, which we'll see how it goes, huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time since our very first episode where we're side by side in the same studio. Every single time since then, we have recorded via Zoom with you somewhere.
Yeah.
And me generally somewhere in Texas.
Yeah.
Your somewhere is a little bit more.
I get more somewheres. Yeah.
You get more somewheres.
But so we're in the Keller Williams office in San Antonio where Eric works. And I know you can't tell it, but see that beautiful prop thing back there? There's a KW there that isn't lit up. It doesn't matter, right? I was in town for a reunion with my Up With People cast 48 years later, and now a couple days at Eric's, and now here in the office. And yeah, it's been a while since we sat side by side.
It feels very strange. We're sitting down and there was a flash of a Saturday Night Live skit from the early 70s that went through my head. And Donna said, no, we can't say that. We can't do it that way.
Yeah, we can't do it that way. So, you're the planner here. We talked today about how that we show our listings, we talk about where we are and what our market is and what prices are and things like that. So tell everybody kind of where we're going to go today.
We're going to the hill country. All right.
That was a great answer.
Taking advantage of Donna being in town and me having an active transaction going on right now that's in the inspection phase. So in Texas, we have what's referred to as an active option period. In several states, you just have, once you're under contract and the parties have agreed, you move ahead and you have some time for inspections. In Texas, the belief is that in order to do that, you should pay the owner some amount of money that's referred to as the option fee. And when the parties agree, there is additional consideration in the form of dollars that is given directly to or goes directly to the seller of the property to say, thank you for taking this off the market so we can do the inspection on it. So that's where we're at. This happens to be a rural piece of property. It is a fairly large house, 3-bedroom, just under 3,000 square feet, 3 full baths on 6.6 acres out in the hill country. And because of that, that means under normal circumstances in the residential world, you're doing 2 inspections. You're doing a whole home inspection and you're doing a pest inspection, at least here in Texas. While we've been talking, you've got a transaction going on out in Arizona, and you're talking.
We're doing the regular home inspection, and then they wanted a roof inspection, which I have yet to set. We just went under contract yesterday. And they wanted a pool inspection and a sewer scope. And apparently the sewer scope guy showed up this morning without telling anybody. So good news was is the sewer is clean. The bad news was is the cellars were a bit,
All right. So when you say a sewer scope, my house has a septic system. Is this actually just checking sewer lines that tie into a city utility?
Yes, because we want to know right now, this particular home, which has been updated, doesn't have any major trees in the front yard or the backyard. And in theory, you would think
it's the desert, people. Yeah. Let me remind you, trees are not really.
Come on, we have trees, but the roots. What you're doing is you're checking to see if any roots have gotten into the sewer lines, and even with a yard that maybe has had the tree come down, it doesn't mean there's not stuff underground. So they take a camera and they run it through the sewer line to make sure that it's all in good shape, that there's no connections that are broke, and that everything is flowing smoothly.
Okay. And you mentioned something about a roof inspection.
Yeah.
So is that a general contractor in your world, or is it, in the state of Texas, you need to be licensed to be a general contractor. You need to be licensed and certified to be a plumber. You need to be licensed as an electrician.
Yeah.
But roofing is not one of those things that is considered to be a requirement to have a license.
Oh, wow.
So in the state of Texas, it is a piece of work that is the dominant or predominant part of their business.
So yes, you have people want licensed roofers, because picture a 2-story home, or we've had flat roofs with rocks on them back in the 60s that have been, there's been the ones like mine that get the paint all the time. There's the other piece of mine was peaked with tile from 1979 with the underlayment underneath it. There's so many options for the type of roof that we have. And that being said, I use typically a general contractor who specializes in roofing, and that's Jose. I use him a lot with Diana's General Construction. So, but here's the other thing is our primary home inspector will have a look at it. And if it's a single story, he'll go on it. They don't want to walk on a tile roof because they don't want to make the mistake of potentially breaking tiles. And a lot of those guys now have drone cameras that they can go up and get good shots of a second story to avoid going on a second story roof. These particular buyers, they want not just that, but they want a licensed roofer to come look at it.
So now that you just said something about drones, do the drone operators in the state of Arizona, do they have to be licensed with the Aviation Administration?
Predominantly, and more of them are. But it depends also. So think about where your listing is or your buyer is buying.
Right.
I don't know what the requirements are, but to me, having a drone out there, you're in the middle of nowhere. I can't imagine it's going to interfere with anything.
Who's going to say anything about
it? But if you're in a neighborhood, then yeah.
Right.
So it just depends. I want to ask you, so that house that we were at, would you consider that a ranch at 6 to 7 acres?
Yes, to a point.
Okay.
And I say that to a point. Okay, so in this particular case, I guess there's a certain amount of it that's objective and another portion that is subjective.
Okay.
So this is the piece of land, the 6.6 acres, was originally part of a larger family ranch.
Okay.
And it's actually a historical ranch. The original documents that list the legal description on this indicate that it is a historic land patent from 1865.
What does that even mean?
So in the United States, a lot of times now, when you get into residential areas, it's a plat survey. So the land has been platted and it says, here's the city block or new city block. There's a lot number, there's a block number. Before that, you got a land patent issued by the United States. So this is going all the way back to the time when settling and we wanted to bring people in. So think of any of your historic Westerns where they stake their land. They got a land patent. And that's how far back this goes. So it has got a land patent. And because of that, and the fact that it has been used predominantly for agriculture for over 100 years,
right,
there is an ag exemption on the property.